music. You're listening to WCPP,
The new 96.1
FM.
Yes, good afternoon, one and all. Welcome. It's the Suzette Speaks Show live. How's everybody doing? I'm hoping you're having a beautiful day. Let me make sure my mic is turned up and that you are here with me to enjoy some conversation, some hot topics. If you're new here, I'm an attorney, community activist, someone who just cares about people. And I love going into some details about the news, the headlines, and of course, ways in which we impact the community together. Now, we have been living through some very difficult and tumultuous times. Looking at the news every day can make you afraid, can make you disappointed in life, can make you not want to get out of bed, but I hope to give you some encouragement. We do have some good news as well, but I do have to talk about the first 100 days of President Trump. He had a sit-down interview with ABC News senior political correspondent, a gentleman by the name of Terry Moran, sat down with President Trump in the Oval Office for a review of his first 100 days. I went through it a little bit this week, and I'm going to play for you some clips. I want to know how you feel because as we are under a tariff war that Mr. Trump has initiated, as we look at what has happened around the world, there, still some questions out. And according to recent polls, a lot of people, both whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're independent, don't seem to be feeling at ease. They are worried about some of what the Trump administration is doing, and we're going to go over some of those details. Also breaking is that the United States and Ukraine have signed a long-awaited minerals deal. President Trump insisted that he would like to see a deal between the United States and Ukraine. Remember, Ukraine is a country that was invaded by Russia, who wants to take over Ukraine and parts of its land. And in order for the United States to stay engaged in this war where Ukraine is trying to defend itself against Russia, President Trump, when he took office, said he would like the United States to have a right to some of its mineral rights, the Ukraine's mineral rights, right? They have some special and very precious minerals that are important in production of some of our electronics and high-tech items that are very rare. They call them rare earth minerals. So we need them, and we don't have a lot of them, and they're all over the world. They are abundant in places and continents of Africa and other places, but Ukraine has these minerals. So it has been long awaited, and apparently the United States and the Ukraine have now entered into a long-term deal. What's interesting about this deal is that it does not guarantee military protection for Ukraine. It guarantees the United States will share in the mineral rights and the revenues, but it does not guarantee. Now, it has been said and implied by the Trump administration that this was necessary in order for the United States to continue giving Ukraine military support. But there is a deal, nonetheless, and we are going to see what this administration does. Again, it's very unpredictable because we have seen the market going up and down. We have seen trade now with big box stores sending out warnings saying that if the tariff war that Mr. Trump has begun is sustained and continues, that we might see less and less of our typical goods on shelf. Now, I'm not going to start, the rumor mill, but I'm going to tell you what my experience has been. Even when I do my little discount shopping, I love a Marshalls, I love Ross, I love TJ Maxx, and somebody just put me on Adidas. Y'all don't know about Adidas? Adidas discount is like another kind of branch of, I guess, Ross stores. And but I'm seeing less and less of my preferred goods, things that I used to see: facial cream, body washes, different things. And of course, that's my girly girl side. I do like to keep myself up, but I don't mind doing it at a discount. Hello, somebody. I don't mind a good deal, right? But as I've been going through my little TJ Maxx runs and my Marshalls runs and my Ross runs, I'm not seeing kind of the quality and the quantity of products I used to see. Now, there have been reports that many of the major port cities in the United States, right? We have to remember that most of the goods that Americans buy are from other places, right? They come to us via ship, cargo ship, and they are sent to us from countries, namely like China, where, they are made for far less than they would be made here in the United States. But of course, this administration has let it be known that they want to bring back all kinds of manufacturing, not just the high-end and very complicated and complex manufacturing that has been the trend to be maintained here in the United States, but from the little stuff that you can make for 10 cents and 15 cents because the people are paid so much less, quite frankly, in other countries. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you the truth. Those items now, Mr. Trump is saying we're going to have to buckle down. Let me actually get the quote right. Because he has now said in this one-on-one interview, and I'm going to play a little bit of it, where President Donald Trump discussed his first 100 days in the Oval Office with an exclusive interview with ABC News and their senior White House correspondent, Terry Moran. He talked about everything from where he stands on immigration. Now, there has been a swing in the polls. They say no president in the first 100 days have had this low of approval rating as Mr. Trump has. And we're going to look at some of those numbers. Except in the area of immigration, as few people, depends on their party, do agree with what they've been seeing. But I'm, again, very concerned about the rule of law. We've talked about it here. And, of course, as an attorney, I always like to give you some legal perspective as what is happening. We talked on this show, the Suzette Speaks Show Live. Welcome. If you're just calling in or if you're just coming through, I see you on my YouTube page. Hey, everybody who's watching on the YouTube side. Hey, everybody that's watching online. Big up everybody watching on the app. You know that Voice of the Caribbean likes to bring you talk shows, news shows in the middle of the day when you're enjoying your lunch, and whether you're riding in your car. We appreciate you tuning in. And my shift is Thursdays and Fridays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Again, I'm born in the Caribbean, born in Jamaica, raised here in South Florida. So I call myself the best of both worlds. Went to school here, college and university, and have had the American dream in some respects, like I said, due to my parents' sacrifice, and also due to a system that allows for people to, make the best of themselves. But we're seeing a shift in that system. It's very concerning, where you are having judges and courts make rulings that are being ignored by the administration. And this is what we call the rule of law. No matter how big or how small you are, no matter if you're president or not, we are supposed to have a system of rules in place. Nobody can just come steal from you because they broke a rule. And we have an enforcement mechanism to, prosecute people who break rules, who break laws. That is the court system. But unfortunately, we have seen that the Supreme Court, although they have ordered things like the return of the gentleman who was sent from Maryland illegally, he had been given asylum, temporary asylum here in the United States from Nicaragua, who was sent back, and the Supreme Court 9-0 told the Trump administration, you got to bring back Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. His wife is a citizen. He has a child here. Point being, it's not about whether, and I keep seeing this discussion online, and I want to clear it up for you. It's not about whether he's a good guy or he's a bad guy, or he himself is a member of a gang or not. What is really concerning about his case is that all of this took place without what we call due process, which is something that is guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States. Any person in this country, whether you are innocent or whether you're guilty, whether you are a man, woman, or a child, whoever you are, the Constitution of the United States has been interpreted such that every single person has the right to a fair hearing to discuss and to weigh the facts of their case, their situation, right? And whether it's a trial, whether it's an administrative hearing, whatever it is, if somebody is going to remove some of your rights, your right to privacy, your right to freedom, your right to live here, if there is going to be a removal of rights, we have a system that has been dependent on following the rules. And the rules say no matter who you are, you have a right to due process. You have a right to be heard. You have a right to a hearing. And in some cases, when we talk about criminal law, a trial, where a judge who is considered what we call the arbiter of fact. Now, I'm breaking it down a little bit with my little legal hat on today. But the judge is going to hear from both sides what they believe is right and what they believe is wrong. So you, as a human being, as an American, as a resident, someone standing on this soil in the United States, have become we have become very complacent about these rights. We just assume that everybody is going to have these rights when it's time. Shout out to all my Haitians. First of all, May is Haitian Heritage Month. But big up my Zoes. What's up? Big up all of my people them from Haiti, all of the diaspora, right? All of the descendants here. We know our Haitian brothers and sisters were the first to gain independence in the Western Hemisphere and have been leading the way. Unfortunately, have been punished for leading the way. But we celebrate their rich culture. This May is Haitian Heritage Month, y'all. I think I already saw the Haitian flags on the cars out here. If you don't know about it, South Florida, we know our Haitian brothers and sisters. One thing they gonna do is represent. Ça passe. Comment ça va? Big up all my Haitians massive listening right now. This is Suzette Speaks Show live. We got to show some love for my Haitians here on the beginning of Haitian Heritage Month in May. Yeah, we're going to recognize it a little bit later as well. But we got to get down to the nitty gritty, what is fact and what is fiction. And as I listen to this interview, and I want to encourage you, I think it has about 1.3 million views. The interview between the full length of 40 minutes. It's not that bad. You can sit at your desk and you can listen to it. Listen for yourself. And what I'm trying to do here is I try to Google the fact from the fiction, because what I was commenting, I was watching some other commentators like myself. You know, I big up Roland Martin's show. It's a very good and very educational show. Mr. Roland Martin is one of the premier journalists and has found himself, you know, on the side of critiquing a lot of what the Trump administration has been doing. He had an in-depth show last night. I was in the comment section, you know, blowing it up. And I'm often, you know, featured as a guest commentator. Hopefully in the next month, you'll see me there where I give my political opinion, etc. So since I was not actually on the panel, I was just in the comments, you know, listening to what other people had to say. I was thinking, what do you really believe has happened this 100 days? Well, the economy as we know it has been turned on its head. It's been turned upside down. The stock market as we knew it, America as a reliable partner to the world, a place where people knew their money was invested and invested safely because of the Trump tariffs. And remember, we have discussed it here on the Suzette Speaks Show. Tariffs are a tax on the American people. You keep hearing tariffs against China. It's not against China, darling. All of those fantastic cheap goods that we're used to are now going to have an extra tax that is placed on the product that the owner of the purchaser will now pass on to us, the consumers, the buyers, right? So I was going to say the owner of the stores here in America pay that tax. And because they have to pay more, some as high as 125%, 145%, that is not going to be stomached or absorbed by those companies, the companies here in America that are buying from China. Hey, online, I see everybody watching. Shout out the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out Jim Rockford. Shout out Smooth Move. Miss A. Marie, I see you online. Big up everybody with the app. Take us wherever you go. You can download from the App Store, the Voice of the Caribbean. You can also listen from all over South Florida. What's up, Fort Lauderdale, 92.7 FM. Then you switch it up when you get down to Hollywood, 96.1 FM. And Miami, Wagua, 94.3 FM. Tell a friend, Suzette is speaking. This is Suzette Speaks, coming to you live every Thursday and Friday with hot topics, news you can use, of course, some political commentary and much more. I want to encourage you to listen to the Terry Moran interview with Donald Trump. I commented while I was watching the Roland Martin show yesterday because I tried to pick and choose, where am I getting my news from? Who am I letting in my spirit? What information is real? What is truth? Because what I realized as a journalist myself, kind of putting on that hat, as someone who is a professional communicator, been a TV host here on the radio. I host events near and far. People always inviting me. Political debates, gubernatorial debates. I've emceed and I'm hosting them, and I make sure to try to hold people accountable and keep them honest. I have to give my hat to the interviewer of President Trump from ABC News, senior correspondent Terry Moran. It's very hard to interview somebody who keeps twisting the facts. I don't want to use the word lie. Ooh, help me, because they're not. My grandmother would slap me because she doesn't like the word lie. She liked the word untruth. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Granny. She used to say, don't tell no untruth. She never used the word lie. She never liked the word lie. Because, it was almost like back in the day, it was a true offense to be called a liar. Now, whatever fly out of people's mouth, they just let it fly. And when you're interviewing someone who is not speaking factually, who is turning the facts around and not speaking from a place of truth, it's very hard to interview them and to pin them down. So as I watched Terry Moran kind of struggle to say, no, you put up the tattoo, for example, of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was illegally deported and went to a supermax, one of the most notorious prisons, not being found guilty of any crime and not being granted a hearing before he was deported to come up with what the real facts of his case were, just disappeared, that he hasn't seen an attorney. It took a U.S. senator to go down there and put pressure on the El Salvadorian government to go find out where he was. The man said he frightened he don't know, he hasn't heard from anyone. That was supposed to be the difference in our system. You're supposed to have the right to an attorney, Miranda. You're supposed to have the right to remain silent. You're supposed to have the right to a hearing, that nobody in a government capacity could just take away any rights from you without due process, regardless of who you are. Me not say him innocent, Me not say anybody who has possibly been accused of something is good or bad or evil. It's not for me to determine. My position is that we have the rule of law, or have had under this American system, certain protections that are slipping away. And if we're not careful and if we don't call it out for what it is, that there are people now that are trying to subvert the rule of law and saying little children who are citizens born here can be deported and have been deported without a hearing, without due process, without a judge, without a jury, without a trial, without somebody given the right to be heard and say, no, let me make my case. And then either the prosecutor can prove or the government can prove and try to prove up the facts, or I can. But I can't just be taken away without my family being notified, without my attorneys being notified, and disappear, put on a plane, even when the judge says, do not fly these people out of this country without a hearing, but you put them on the plane anyway, Trump administration. So it's not about whether he had a domestic violence with his wife, or they're bringing up other kind of stuff. I told you last week, his wife now had to leave where she lives because the government put out an order with her address on it. So for the safety of her and her children, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife had to leave her home. And we're seeing more and more chipping away. More and more chipping away. What can you do? There were over 5 million people in the street last Saturday. People protesting peacefully. People writing their senators. People writing from their local officials all the way up to the United States Senator. From the county or parish or wherever you live. Some people call it city. From the local government all the way up to the state government, the people who represent us in Tallahassee, the Florida House of Representative member that represents you, the Florida state senator that represented you. And what are they doing to keep the protections of the rule of law? We do not want a country of lawlessness, where because of fear, because of bullying and flouting, right, going around the law. Oh, the law says this. Well, we don't like this person. Did you not hear Mr. Trump say, Mr. Bukele, the president of El Salvador, build a couple more prisons because I want to send American citizens. You hear this from our jails. It don't matter where they're from. They're American. And the courts are supposed to be the stopgap, the co-equal branch, no branch of government, whether it's the legislature, the executive, or the courts. Remember, it's the Supreme Court, it's the President of the United States and his cabinet, and it's supposed to be the legislative branch, the United States Senate, and the United States House of Representatives. They're supposed to be equal under the law. But right now, we are seeing the push of the executive branch, the president's branch, to do whatever it wants and daring people to stop them. How do you feel this first 100 days has gone? I'm going to play some clips from this interview with Terry Moran. We're going to look factually at what was. We got to do a fact check because a lot of what he's saying was not factual. And just because he says it from the bully pulpit, I'm just like, when? How do you combat this? If I was the interviewer, if I was in his shoes, listening to the president say all kind of thing when not true, talking about egg prices, have you seen groceries actually going down, and how again the tariffs are going to impact us very soon? They say very large declines of ships in the major ports. I was telling you that everything that you buy in the stores, oftentimes it comes from another country, and that the amount of vessels, the ships that are being brought into port have gone down. Listen, I got to take a quick break. This is the Suzette Speaks Show Live. We got a lot more after this break. Don't go anywhere. Just be back right here for more right after this.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
This is Mikey Mike from the Voice of the Caribbean. For over the last 30 years, personal injury lawyer Samuel Otinsky have been helping the flooded class with personal injury, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, negligence, security, wrongful death, and sexual abuse cases. We know it is impossible to
put my monitor down. Shout out to everybody watching.
A commercial from another personal
Shout out
injury
to everybody
lawyer. I'm
watching.
here today to tell you there's a difference.
I'm gonna try to do some clips of Mr. Trump coming up after this.
Case. Experience and
but I got commercials to play.
When it comes to choosing
drop a comment, drop a like, please. Hope everybody's good.
On his personal cell phone,
gotta
you
water
will get
myself.
attention until your case is over. You can call him or text him day or night on his cell phone at 954-995-3805. 954-995-3805. And if he can't answer, he will call you back. Let me repeat, he will call you back.
I'm wondering if I should do the second half
the attention
on
it deserves. For over 30
Facebook
years,
or if I should stay over here. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me think about it.
Negligence, insecurity, wrongful death, and sexual abuse cases. Don't make the mistake and call the wrong lawyer. Sound results speaks for themselves.
My
For more information,
homegirl just sent me an article and I don't know how to reach it. I'll be right back, honey. I'll be right back. Can I pause this? I don't even know how to pause it.
Just the Flags, Voice of the Caribbean, and Unleashed Sound Entertainment.
All right, I'll be right back.
The big celebrity football match, artists versus media and selectors. Monday, May 26th from 12 noon until 9 p.m. Memorial Day. It's a holiday.
Come watch your favorites play. Like Baby Shab, Usain Bolt, Dexter Daps, Matt Cobra, Wayne Wonder,
Luke D, Ioctane, Brother Bands, Joshi, Christopher Martin, Galaxy B,
Mega Bantan, Sky Joe, Super Twitch, Kareem High,
Futa High, DJ.
All right, guys, I'm here.
and more. All on the ball field.
Monday, May 26th, Memorial Day, from 12 noon until 9 p.m. at the Laurel Hill Sports Complex.
Admission $30. Children under 12 are free.
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry. I wanted to get the latest news on the mineral deal with the Ukrainians. And I wanted to, I think I'm gonna do this one seated. What is am I seeing? I'm seeing this other camera. Hold
The
on.
celebrity football match.
Flow Jam Legal provides legal services in areas of immigration, family law.
Okay, I'm gonna do my second half seated because I'm a little hype over here. And I need to highlight the mineral deal. I do not want to mess up my camera by moving you guys, but you know, we'll tilt it a little bit. You good? You're good. All right. And the other camera on my sides are good. Okay, good to go. I don't want to turn on my monitor because I do not want to get a copyright strike. That's why I'm monetized. I got a copyright strike over here with different stuff that's been playing. So anyway, I hope everybody's good. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And let me get myself together here. I want to look at who Trump fired. I don't want you to hear no music because I don't want to be copyrighted. I hope you guys having a good Memorial Day, or excuse me, May so far. And do you have plans for Memorial Day? Let me know. Drop it in the chat if you do. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Trump fires, I think this guy's name is Mike Waltz. Let me go over it. Because people need to know. Trump national security advisor to leave his post on the Guardian. Yeah, his deputy to leave post. Yeah, let's do that on the CBS side. Anyway, hope everybody's good. I want to play a little bit of the interview. I hope I can play it. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to be able to play. I'm going to sit for this half because I'll be getting too hype. And I'm tired. I've been having a heck of a workout this last week. Got a great massage actually yesterday, but my muscles are pretty tight. Drink some water. The commercials are playing. We'll be back live in just a second.
Fear on the 17th of May, 2020.
When you hear his music, so I gotta be careful with the copyright, as I said. Yeah. So Mike Waltz is out. His deputy Alex Wong is out. And what else I was gonna say? Oh, Fantasia's coming out with a yeah, I'm gonna do that. What was the name of his name? Chris Van Hollen met with him. Let me go back to where I think Fantasia's coming out with a gospel album. Oh my good news. I have to have some. It's all good. I have to have some Fantasia gospel album. Commercial right now.
Give mom more than flowers. Give her a belly full of laughter with Patrick Brown's Room 513. Saturday, May 10, 8 p.m. Everglades High.
Alright, let's get this going. Why is this such a... Alright. Alright, we're ready to go back live in about a minute time. Hope everybody's good. Hit the like button, please. Thanks for rocking with me. Yeah, let me know how you've been doing. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube side and everybody who has commented and shared. Thank you so much. Let me just make sure, sorry. You're gonna get me, yeah, we'll do the Trump. Yeah, we're gonna do a little Trump and then we'll do a little Fantasia. I don't even really want to get back into the Shannon Sharp. I don't really want to get it. It's gonna be hot, hot, and hotter. Is a 7-day forecast. Next Monday before we get rain. That's a lie. Saturday, Sunday, 87s. Gosh, it's gonna be hot down here. So I will look for indoor activities. It's very, very dry here in Florida. We'll talk about Fantasia. We're gonna talk about Sinners. I'm going to continue to encourage people to go see that if you haven't seen it. When does the conclave start, y'all? Let me just announce that real quick. This is the longest commercial break ever. We have 30 seconds. Sometimes the AC in here goes up. Whoop. I'm going to tear up my, Lord God, I'm going to tear up my headphones. Tear up the headphones, Suzette. Don't do that. I just want to turn down the air. It's hot. I'll be right back. Tear up the headphones. It's so hot, bro. This is the one. Yikes. All right, we turned it back down. Hopefully I won't be out here. We're almost done.
06983 or Western Union International Service LLC NMLS 906985. Licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services. See terms and conditions.
Thanks, Western Union, for your support.
Teddy Upholstery, specializing also
30 seconds. Literally, it goes up to 75. The AC in the studio. They know they can stop. They know they can stop. I'm hot. I forgot to give out the number because in case people want to. I'm going to go a little bit more with the camera this way. All right, we're ready.
Of the Caribbean, Jamaica, and far beyond.
24 hours of the best Caribbean music. You're listening to WZPP,
The new 96.1
FM.
1021, shut down your dial. We can while I'm in the middle.
Yes, welcome back. It's the SUZETTE Speaks Show. Hey, we just so grateful that you're here. Grateful that everybody's watching online. Listen, we got some interactive conversation going on right now. I wanted to bring a couple of nice news, happy news, right? A little bit of bright spots for your day as we look around. Sometimes it's very hard to find those bright spots, but I'm grateful and I'm thankful again that we have some beautiful weather. It is quite hot in Florida right now. If you didn't know, it is highs of 80s all weekend. We won't see rain possibly till next Monday or Tuesday. Yikes, because I was looking and talking to a friend. I was looking at the canals, and our water system, of course, in Florida has been skillfully dredged, and we have waterways everywhere you look, man-made canals, man-made lakes that keep us nice and hopefully replenished in terms of our water supply. However, it has been quite dry, and we haven't had rain in as many days, and we're looking at still a very warm rest of the week as well as weekend. So make sure you plan for indoor activities. I have my water bottle, with me. And be careful out there. Lows of only the high 70s, man. So it's going to be continuously hot till about Monday or Tuesday. Wanted to point out that there has been a tuberculosis case reported at Dillard High School. For those of you in Broward County, due to contact tracing, parents were notified that their child, only if their child had been exposed to a person with an active case, this illness can be deadly, of course. And this is not an isolated case here in Florida. We're still seeing a couple of cases around the state of active tuberculosis. And again, the scary part of tuberculosis is now that it has become a resistant, or they call it multi-resistant tuberculosis, can be very challenging to treat. So the fact that we're seeing it here in South Florida, particularly in Broward County, remember tuberculosis is a disease of the lung. And if you are exposed to the disease, they can try to prescribe things for you early. However, again, we are nervous that there are now more resistant strains of it. Also here in South Florida, the Blue Angels are preparing for this weekend's air show. So if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, Fort Lauderdale Air Show will take place this Saturday. And we'll see the Blue Angels and many others participate. Those jets and those high-flying members of our military are always a delight. So if you are in the area, Fort Lauderdale Air Show will be happening this weekend. Of course, we just came back. Voice of the Caribbean covered Jamaica Carnival. If you missed it, you definitely missed a treat. I was here watching and living vicariously through Mike, my colleague, Opal Lee, Miss Chin, our station manager. I was like, oh, wow, they had a ball. A time was had, right? What happens in Jamaica stays in Jamaica. But big up Caribbean Airlines, big up all of the crew that were there. I think Sheikah, some others ventured on down. But it was a beautiful, beautiful celebration of culture. And if you wanted to take a look at some of the sights and sounds of Jamaica Carnival, you can always be sure to follow Voice of the Caribbean on all of our social media platforms. I want to get to some other news, good news first. I also wanted to point out that Fantasia, the famous singer, made famous 21 years ago by her appearance on American Idol. Did you know that Fantasia is going to be dropping a gospel album? Yay! I would clap. I don't have a clap track ready, but bam, 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 bam. Yes, that's me dropping a bomb, right? So big up Fantasia Barrino. She has come so far. Just a beautiful lady all around. She has announced, but this is her lane, y'all. Let me just put my 2 cents in it. This is her lane. If anybody should be doing a gospel album, it should be Fantasia Barrino, okay? Fantasia Barrino Taylor is her name. And she will be releasing a gospel album, which I was like, wow. It has been quite making the buzz on social media. So this is the leading news in social media. There aren't many things that are that go well together, but Fantasia Barrino Taylor and the stage and gospel music, I would say, go together. According to the griot.com, the magic that happens when those two things meet, Fantasia and her stage, were on full display on American Idol recently, as folks online can't stop talking about it, and the new announcement she made right before it. Listen, she had to grace the stage of American Idol, and I had stopped watching American Idol, I'm not going to lie to you, but for whatever reason, I got caught, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, watching American Idol, and now I'm like, I get why this show is so popular. The stories and the backstories of the families, and the mom wants it, and the grandma who passed away, and the dad who did, whatever to sacrifice to get the child or the young adult now or the grown woman into this, stage of being on stage with this opportunity. It's amazing. And I get it. The producers, shout out Ryan Seacrest even, like, no, I ain't gonna hate on the man. The man is good at his job. And just watching them come together and fight for their dreams, it is such a, compelling television show. It's compelling TV. So watching Fantasia come back, I did not see this performance. I've been only watching clips online, but I'm going to go back and watch the entire performance. But viewers at home got the announcement that Fantasia Barrino Taylor debuted her latest song. It's a gospel song titled Have Your Way. I love her from her classics, When I See You. I'm always like, when I see you, when I see you. That song? Okay, that one, very popular. But she's turned into gospel, y'all. And this woman is anointed. When I saw the clip alone of the performance on American Idol, Fantasia Barrino will be dropping a gospel album. And she debuted on American Idol her single called Have Your Way. Look it up. Be blessed by it. I would play it where I have a moment to myself where I can truly do my praising. Yes, I'm a praiser, right? I get loud with it when it comes to my God, my Abba Father. So I'm excited for her. I'm really excited for her. So we're going to look out for when that album is going to drop. Of course, many people are talking about the kickoff of the Cowboy Carter concert. Beyonce's out there collecting her coins. I've only seen the clip with her daughter Blue Ivy, and her youngest daughter Rumi, who made her stage debut with Mom and Big Sis, and that was really adorable. Rumi looked like the actual fan that all of us are when it comes to this thing called Beyoncé, the phenomenon, right? The talented woman, the mother, the singer, the philanthropist, the gifted, just multi-talented diva, hardworking and well-deserved, well-recognized for her talents through Grammys, through other awards, American Music Awards. I can go on and on. But just watching Beyonce at her age and after such longevity, not that she's old, she's not old, but doing it for the many times that she has, or for as long as that she has, it is incredible to watch. And again, now seeing her almost wanting to pass the torch. Blue Ivy has been working on them dance moves, y'all. Big up Blue Ivy. Popping and locking, like, okay, we've been working this summer. I love it. As well as Rumi. Rumi looked like she was just happy to be there. She looked like every other fangirl of her mom. Like, wait a minute, my mom is famous. Wait a minute, I'm famous. And she was just jumping up and down all giddy, like the sweet little kid that she is. And she was just so excited. It looked like maybe a promise made by mommy that when you turn a certain age, you can join me on stage. And Rumi was living her life. All right. So that's the top news. I also wanted to touch on, I have to touch on back to Mr. Trump, because my plan, I was going to give you good news, of course. If you haven't gone to see Sinners, remember the Sinners movie is out there. I'm personally endorsing it, not endorsed by the station, none of that. But Sinners is a movie that they're calling a horror movie. It's not a movie. It's, to me, about Black history, African-American history in the 1930s in the Deep South. And it is a wonderful expression of art by producer, director Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. I saw it on opening weekend, and I'm still talking about it with my friends. There's so much to dissect. If you like art that is provocative, that means that it promotes conversation and thought, you would love this movie. There are a couple little scary parts. Don't let that deter you. And if you can see it in IMAX, now I saw it regular, but the people who say it's shot in IMAX is incredibly worth the money. But yeah, go see it. Go support it, because we want more movies made like this. Cowboy Carter kicked off in Los Angeles again. You can see it on TikTok. You can see Rumi. I'm watching it here in the studio. I have the TVs on different news channels, and I'm just flipping through to make sure I'm not missing out on anything to let you guys know. So the other big news, we're going to pivot back to President Trump. You know he's going to make news. But the big announcement that came today, now we've been talking about tariffs, we've been talking about what the American consumer, the American citizen, I don't even like the word consumer, and I went through why a couple weeks ago, when they think of us as only people that can buy and sell things and not with the indelible rights, God-given rights, not only given to us by God, but by the Constitution of the United States, right? the protections that we all have, thank you God, when they start just thinking of you as a cog in the wheel, as a number, as a purchaser, no. I am also an American. I also should be treated with a certain amount of respect. And my rights are just as important as the rights of the person sitting in the Oval Office. And they should be protected by our leaders and fought for by our leaders and not ignored by our leaders. Let me get off my soapbox. But I just saw this announcement. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Who is Mike Waltz? Well, you got to remember in March, Waltz came under scrutiny after he put together a chat on an app called Signal. Remember this? Signal chat, where all of this very high level classified information was shared accidentally with a reporter that Mike Waltz had put in a chat. Remember this. So in March, Waltz came under scrutiny after he put together a Signal chat and mistakenly included, this is according to CBS News, The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg, a reporter who then told the public that all of this information was disclosed to him, right, accidentally. Discussions with top national security officials about plans for a military strike on the Houthis in Yemen. So if you remember what happened there, he is the top national security advisor. He's a very serious person, one of the most serious people in the Trump administration, meaning he's run for Congress. You know, he's been serving as national security advisor. But he and his deputy, alongside his deputy, Mr. Alex Wong, both of them are going to be leaving, according to reports. And I'm reading here from CBS News. Mr. Alex Wong, the deputy of National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and Mr. Wong will be leaving their posts in the Trump White House, according to multiple sources familiar with their departure. They're expected to leave today. We have not confirmed this. This is according to reports, allegedly. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but journalist Mark Halperin first reported on their departures. As with anything in the Trump White House, nothing is final until it's announced, so we don't have a full announcement. But it is a major shift because you have to remember Mike Waltz, who is a national security advisor, is very what they call hawkish, meaning he is not friendly to the worldview of the Russians when it comes to the Ukraine-Russia war, when it comes to the Houthis in Iran. His stance was very hawkish. So looking now as who is going to be his replacement, the chief of staff to the president, Susie Wiles, is having conversation with some of the National Security Council staff today, according to sources. This is according to CBS News. But because of that big mistake he made, Mr. Waltz putting a reporter in a group chat on an app that was not secured, where top level military plans were being discussed. Many are not surprised by this departure. So we'll have to see who, in fact, will be replacing him. So again, I would love for you to call